Greetings, and if you're back, I'm glad you're back. If it's the first time, well, whatever. But if you do like it, there's buttons down there to like, subscribe, notification, whatever you want. I did one the other day. Can't remember which one it was or when, but where I made a comment about my ancestors coming to this country in the 1630s and taking part in all that. And, okay, that's on my father's, my side of the family. So we've been here like 400 and some years. You know, big deal. I got to thinking about, I've got people I know who I consider friends, whether they do me or not, I don't know, but I consider them friends, who are native, indigenous. Their people were here a long time before my people were. A long time. And I wouldn't want them to get the idea that I was bragging about being a colonizer. I was just telling facts, that's all it was. Now my wife, half of her family is white European, Northern European. The other half isn't. Her father, Mexican ancestry, and doing, again, one of those DNA things. She has ancestors who were in a group of natives who lived in northern Mexico, southern Texas area. So she's native. She's got native ancestry. Which is, that's cool. I had to think, there's a lot of stuff that we, white men, have to answer for. This weird sense of superiority over everybody. Yeah, right. Well, that isn't superior. That isn't what we really are. We have a sense, a lot of white men, older white men especially, and there's passing it on to younger white men, which I think is one of the worst things you could leave your children, is that sense of superiority that you have no factual basis for. None at all. There's a woman, I think I mentioned another one, but Isabel Wilkerson wrote this book called Caste. I recommend it. Read it. It explains a lot of how this caste system in this country is set up. And how that system that we have set up here, that started 1619 and came forward and changed, and there's still, back in the late 30s, early 40s, there's a movie about this meeting held by high-level Nazis to decide how to deal with the, quote, Jewish question. They took some of the ideas, the basic ideas for this stuff, from this country. Same with people in South Africa. The apartheid, they went a little farther with it. Sometimes we went farther than they wanted to in some places. Now, and you see some of this in some European countries, not as blatant or as written into law as it has been here in the past, and in some places still is. Think about it. The state of Oregon was founded as a white state. That's all they didn't want. They didn't want any black, any colored people. This part of the country I'm living in back in the 20s had a very big Klan population, you know. And the amazing hubris of white Europeans coming to this country and saying that all of these natives were just ignorant savages. Bullshit, you know. They ran things better than we did. They didn't have jails. They didn't need jails. They had other ways of dealing with people who acted outside of the norm in those ways, you know. They didn't have police officers. You know, and there's another part of that too. There was this whole idea of the natives here had the idea that they were born into this world with responsibilities. They had to do things. They needed to take care of the earth and the trees and the animals. White man comes along and says, yeah, cut down all the trees, you know, screw that, kill all the animals. Especially ones that we don't need. We don't need buffalo. We don't need the Florida Panthers, cougars. We don't need those. We can get rid of them. My wife and my daughter, I can't remember, one of them told me that there are more deer today in America than there was at the time white people first showed up. Now, how can there be more? I mean, every year there's hunting season everywhere. People hunt deer all the time, you know? But the reason there's more is because we came along and got rid of the rest of the predators. Or at least attempted to. We did a pretty good job. We didn't get totally rid of them. And now, luckily, there are people trying to bring them back, which is a good thing. I mean, they reintroduced wolves into Yellowstone, and the whole environment changed for the better. The herds got the elk and the deer herds got healthier, and so does the other animals. Their living situation improved by reintroducing wolves. And wolves are predators. They eat deer. They eat elk. You know, they eat small animals. Why does that? Because if you think about it, usually when a pack of wolves goes after a herd of deer or a herd of elk, who do they get? They get the oldest, the slowest, and the sickest. They get them first. That means the healthier ones and the stronger ones who can get away are the ones who pass on their genes. So it improves the overall health of the entire herd. Unfortunately, there's one predator on this planet that we can't get rid of. You and me. Us. And I was thinking about something the other day. What do we have? We don't have the physicality of a wolf or a cougar or a bear. We don't have the claws, we don't have the teeth, we don't have the strength. What do we have for defense? We don't have physically. You set a wolf and a cougar and a bear right here with nothing but their bodies. And then you take one of us with nothing but our body. And we are just defenseless against these creatures. Except for one thing. This. This is what keeps us in the top of running this planet. And we're not doing a very good job, let me tell you, running this planet. This hurricane that just happened in Florida. This time of year, and we're already into Ian. And these hurricanes are getting tropical storms anyway, which morph into hurricanes, but they start out. We're getting more of those. They're getting stronger. Hurricanes are getting stronger. Wildfires. I don't know what's going on with wildfires here right now. I don't think there's any going right now, but there probably is. And then the wildfires in Europe and Russia and all those places. I mean, we are at a point, we might be beyond that point. We might be too late. There's a point where we have to do something. We have to change the way we interact with nature, with climate, with the world. A lot of people, very right-wing Christians, believe that they, or humanity to them, was given dominion over the earth by God. Who? My father, who was he was a devout Christian. He was in church every Sunday. He was a deacon. He was an elder in the church. He really did believe. But he believed that we weren't given dominion over the earth. We were put here as stewards to take care of it, to nurture the earth. It's like that native saying that the earth is not ours, we are holding it for our children. I don't think our children are going to want this mess. I know. My dad was very much into the organic gardening and, treating the land properly. And I think, I'm not positive, but I think he was one of the first people in Bellingham to get involved in organic gardening. He helped set up one of the first food bank things back in the 60s. Did a lot of social justice stuff back then. There was a group that met at our house regularly. I mean, people... that was quite an eclectic group. There was a economics professor from the college. There was an elder of the Nooksack tribe. Him and some of his people would come. There was a group of people who were they were revolutionary socialists. They were. And they were just regular people who thought things were not going the way they should. interesting, and this ties back to what I said at the beginning about colonizing and the natives. And the gentleman who was an elder in the Nooksack Nation, um, he had the treaty. It wasn't a copy. This was the treaty. He showed it to my dad. We've been working together on these social justice things. My dad had led a small sit-in at the welfare office because they didn't want to pay money for a young native girl who was graduating high school and was going to go on to college, but she felt ashamed because of the condition of her teeth. She wasn't going to go because of her teeth. My dad went, and a couple other people went, heard in the welfare office to find out about getting her something so she could get her teeth fixed, so she could go to college. And the guy in the welfare office says, no, we're not going to do that. My dad says, okay, well, I'm sitting in this chair until you do. Yeah, he had a sit-in the welfare office back in the 60s. You know? The girl got her teeth fixed. Anyway, a lot of stuff, you know. Anyway, this gentleman had the treaty. Let my dad see it. He wouldn't let my dad touch it. And it was because it was getting worn out. You know, pretty freaking old by then. Almost 100 years at that point. And my dad said, well, I make a copy of it. He wouldn't let my dad take it to make a copy. Even when he was there, he wouldn't let my dad put it in the copy machine because he did not trust white men. He actually said, I don't know if I put it in the copy machine that it will come out. I don't know that. Didn't trust white men. And I can't say this, I blame them. We've done nothing but break treaties everywhere. And then the residential schools, that whole thing. Oh, God. You know. And then what goes on even nowadays is missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. You know. I don't know if it's changing now, but it used to be. Nobody cared. And it's just a native girl. She's probably a hooker anyway. But, you know, what a bunch of shit. A young native girl goes missing and, not important. Just a native girl. So what? That's not how it should be. Those are human beings. Human beings. Because their skin color is different, because they come from a different culture. That's not a reason to treat them differently as inferior beings. Some places, to me, they're superior. They have a much, I don't know. There's lots of things I read about that they believed, or it is said they believe. Depends on who writes the books. You know. History is written by the winners. Well, that should be changed. You know. I look back, things I did, and I should have, should have done better. Should have knuckled down, gone to school. I think I would have enjoyed being a history teacher. At least teaching true history, not white history. Somebody said, well, they got a Black History Month. Why don't we have a White History Month? I said, fine. Every fucking month is White History Month. Even the one that's Black History Month. You know? And there was these guys who came up with the celebrate Kwanzaa. No, okay. They take cultural elements, put them together, and create a holiday, which their ancestors probably had something similar anyway, because they lived by the seasons, just like my really far ancestors did. They lived by the seasons, you know? Summer, fall, winter, spring. Just a small little thing of humor about an old TV show when I was a kid, the Howdy Doody show. They had the puppet Howdy Doody, they had Clarabelle the Clown, Buffalo Bob, and they had Princess Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring. She was a native. That was her name, Summer, Fall, Winter, Spring. You know, it's a bit, you know, a little bit bizarre. I don't know. I know that my ancestors had a lot to do with how natives were treated. I mean, they came with the colonies and they spread out through the Midwest and down south. They came out here, you know. I don't know. I'm this here talking about it like this. That's about all I can do. I don't know if I can do anything else. Well, it's how I treat people too. How I respect people. As long as they deserve respect. You know, you get to a certain point, not anymore, go away. You know, okay. There was a big thing just made about this black woman, Lizzo, playing this crystal flute that was owned by James Madison. And these right-wing white guys are going apeshit. It's desecration. You probably didn't even know that James Madison had a crystal flute or that it was still around. The only reason you know about it now is because this woman played it on stage. Okay, I didn't know about it till yesterday when I heard about this. I didn't know such a thing existed. You know? Okay. It's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. It's made out of quartz crystal. You can see through it. You know? That took a lot of skill to make. And I realize that something like that is valuable. It has a artistic value by itself. But the fact that it belonged to James Madison? Man who owned slaves? Never freed one? When he died, he didn't set them free? No, he passed them on to his, whatever. However they do that. So what if he was the fourth president? If he was one of the founding fathers? Big deal. The man owned other people. And no matter what they say, doesn't matter how nice you are to your slaves, they're still slaves. Doesn't matter how nice you are. You claim to own them, and you claim to own them because you're white, they're dark. that says, you say, that means it's the way it's supposed to be. This is all based on this quote Judeo-Christian hocus pocus that says somewhere, and it's which started, if you stop and think about it, started in the Middle East. Those people aren't necessarily white. They have dark skin, curly dark hair, have other identifying features, you know. But they're not white. Northern European, aren't they? No. Originally, they were just nomadic sheep and goat herders. You know? From this just Stone Age almost. You know? So what makes this color here? What makes this so special? Imagine we're not the largest population of human beings on this planet. I think we're outpaced by everybody else together, some individually. We're not even in the majority in this country anymore. Okay. Where does this come from? This idea of white being better than color. You know? Something I've been trying to wrap my mind around for quite a while, but I can't do it yet. I still don't get it. Town I grew up in was a very white town. The Klan was big there back in the 20s. Had a big march through Bellingham in the 20s. It was a big thing about taking all of the East Indian people who were here for, I think they worked in coal mine. There was a coal mine in town. I think they worked in the coal mine, among other, other places. But packing them up and sending them out. We don't want them here. There was it had to be when I was in high school, so it was in the late 60s. Freight trains, it's still tracks, they still go through town, along the water, north and south. And there's one, I don't know, a bunch of hobos, guys who were riding the rails. They had to get an encampment. Cops raided the encampment. Told them to get on the next train out of here. Don't be here when the, except for one guy. They didn't tell him to get out of town. They put him in jail. Because he was the only black man in that group. Well, in this group that my father was part of, when they found out, they managed to go down. They got him out, got him back on his way again. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how. I don't know, other than voicing my support here, doing what online I can. That's all I can do. I hope you all have a good day and a good life. Be nice to yourself and to each other. Random acts of kindness, the best thing in the world.